This talk is intended for the first-year students who are studying specialization except English. Now, the unit I'm going to teach you is Unit-9, His Spouse 2.
Learning goals. The learning goals are to give knowledge on the customs of Imang and how Mabo made goals and returned to daily life. Language goals. The language goals are to improve reading and writing skills, to build new vocabulary, and to study the relative pronoun and reported speech. In this unit, there are a lot to learn by reading the given passage. You can do word study, structure study, conversation study, writing and vocabulary. Now, I'm going to read the passage. The morning was golden with sunlight. Doves cooed in the tamarind tree. Mabo did not go to the market. Instead, she fried and cooked. Then she bathed and made herself fragrant with powder, right down to her toes. She gathered her strange strands, tying them in a knot to suit her features, and arranged the meager hair on her forehead into a dove's wing. She penciled her eyebrows in a white sheet and made her lips red by chewing bitter. She put on a jacket of fine white cloth and a new longi with printed red flowers. The children too were dressed in clean clothes, and the household things were packed. A bullock waited in the yard. At 10 o'clock, the monk appeared, accompanied by his elder son, who was in the monastery school. As he approached, he thought with apprehension, "They'll ask me again to live the life of a monk." He entered the house, noticing the curtain, the packed household things. He sat on the mat. The aunt had rolled out for him and searched in vain for Mabo. After some time, Mabo appeared with a tray of food. She offered the food to him with set eyes and movements. The monk took a quick glance at her. He noticed how dressed up she was. He took another glance. He was puzzled by her behavior, but his thoughts were occupied in preparing to refuse request to return to lay life, which he knew Mabo would make. After the meal, Mabo took away the tray and sat reverently at a distance. Then, as the monk was about to begin his sermon, she spoke to her aunt. "Aunt, has the cartman arrived yet?" The monk looked towards the waiting cart. "Mabo, what's going on here?" he asked. "I will tell the celibate." Mabo addressed the monk without raising her head. "Aunt wants to go back to her village. If she does, I will be unable to keep shop and look after the children at the same time. That is why I must beg the celibate to allow me and the two children to go and live with aunt in her village. The elder son will be left in the celibate's care." She turned to her elder son. "Son, you must stay with the celibate," she said, and wiped away a tear from her downcast face. The monk remained silently thoughtful. The celibate may continue to be a monk throughout his life, if that is his wish. His humble laywoman will try to make a living. The celibate's word and her word are different from now on. They can only have the relationship of monk and lay devotee. If she can find someone to depend upon elsewhere, since she still has two children, she must accept him. That is why she wishes to make things clear now, so that complications may not arise later. The monk uttered a cry of amazement. Mabo raised her eyes silently. Then she continued, "This is for the benefit of both people concerned. The celibate will be able to follow the law in freedom, and his humble devotee will be able if she can find someone. There are too many dirty drunkards in your aunt's village. The monk said, I will return to lay life. Mabo became Gosen's wife again. Finding out true or false. It's number 1. This morning, instead of going to the market, Mabo cooked and fried at home. In the text, Mabo did not go to the market. Instead, she fried and cooked. So, the answer is true. It's number 2. Mabo put on special clothes and made herself attractive. In the text, then she bathed and made herself fragrant with printed red flowers. So, the answer is true. Key to true or false. Number 1 is true, number 2 is true, number 3 is true, number 4 is false, number 5 is true, number 6 is false, number 7 is true, number 8 is false, number 9 is false, number 10 is false. Answer the question in single words or in short phrases. It's number 1. What kind of morning was it? Answer. It was a sunny morning. It's number 2. How did Mabo make her lips red? Answer. She made her lips red by chewing bitter. Key to answer the following question. Number 3 is, the children were dressed in clean clothes. Number 4 is, the elder son accompanied the monk when he came to the house. Number 5 is, the monk searched for Mabo after he had sat down. Number 6, Mabo appeared with a tray of food after some time. Number 7, Mabo sat at a distance after the meal. Number 8, Mabo asked the monk to allow her and the 2 children to go and live with her aunt in her village. Number 9, the monk said there were many dirty drunkards in the aunt's village. Number 10, the monk decided to return to lay life after hearing Mabo's request. Number 11, Mabo and Gosen had 3 children. Similar meanings. Sweet smelly is equal to fragrant. Separate hair is equal to strands. Small amount of is equal to bigger. Carp is equal to sick. Worry is equal to apprehension. Without success is equal to in vain. Saw is equal to noticed. Did not understand is equal to was paused. Spoke to is equal to addressed. Somewhere else is equal to elsewhere. Confusion is equal to complication. Come into existence is equal to arise. Express is equal to uttered. Surprise is equal to amazement. Word study. Example. Jasmine is liked by many people because it is sweet-smelling. The answer is fragrant. Mabo dyed her 3 separate hairs. The answer is strands. Due to her husband's small amount of income, she had to run a food store. The answer is meager. Prefix for. For means in front of or in advance. Example, the front part of the head is equal to forehead. Exercises. Number 1, the part of the arm that is in front of between the elbow and the twist is called the forearm. Number 2, the front edge of something is called the foredge. Number 3, the front finger next to thumb is called the forefinger. Structure study. Omission of the relative pronoun. Relative pronouns include who, whom, which, and that. Who and whom refer to human beings, and which and that refer to non-human beings. We omit relative pronoun to write in an informal way. Example, he sat on the mat that the aunt had rolled out for him. The answer is, he sat on the mat the aunt had rolled out for him. Exercises. Number 1, his thoughts were occupied in preparing to refuse the request which he knew Mabo would make. The answer is, his thoughts were occupied in preparing to refuse the request he knew Mabo would make. Direct and indirect speech. Reported speech. 3 kinds of sentence. Number 1, statement. Number 2, question. In question, we can divide into two types: yes-no question and WH question. Number 3, imperative sentence. For yes-no question, conjunction is if or further. For WH question, conjunction is WH. Present tense is changed into past tense. Pronouns are changed as follows: I, me, my. We, us, ours. You, your, yours. He, him, his. She, her, hers. They, them, theirs. May I explain how to do reported speech? Reported statements. When do we use reported speech? Sometimes someone says a sentence, for example, I'm going to the cinema tonight. Later, maybe we want to tell someone else what the first person said. How it works. Here's how it works. We use a reporting verb like say or tell. If this verb is in the present tense, it's easy. We just put she say and then the sentence. Direct speech, I like ice cream. Reported speech, she says she likes ice cream. But if the reporting verb is in the past tense, then usually we change the tenses in the reported speech. Direct speech, I like ice cream. Reported speech, she said she liked ice cream. Tense change. Present simple, I like ice cream. Reported speech, she said that she liked ice cream. Present continuous, I am living in London. She said she was living in London. Past simple, I bought a car. She said she had bought a car, or she said she bought a car. Past continuous, I was walking along the street. She said she had been walking along the street. Present perfect, I haven't seen Julie. She said she hadn't seen Julie. Past perfect, I had taken English lessons before. She said she had taken English lessons before. Well, I will see you later. She said she would see me later. Would, I would have, but. She said she would help, but. Can, I can speak perfect English. She said she could speak perfect English. Could, I could sing when I was 4. She said she could sing when she was 4. Shall, I shall come later. She said she would come later. Should, I should call my mother. She said she should call her mother. Might, I might be late. She said she might be late. Must, I must study at the weekend. She said she must study at the weekend, or she said she had to study at the weekend. The asterisk doesn't change. Occasionally, we don't need to change the present tense into the past if the information in direct speech is still true. But this is only for things which are general facts, and even then, usually we like to change the tense. Direct speech, the sky is blue. Reported speech, she said that the sky is, or the sky was, blue. Reported question. So, now you have no problem with making reported speech from positive and negative sentences. But how about questions? Direct speech. Where do you live? How can we make the reported speech here? In fact, it's not so different from reported statements. The tense changes are the same, and we keep the question what. The very important thing though is that once we tell the question to someone else, it isn't a question anymore. So we need to change the grammar to a normal positive sentence. Confusing? Sorry. Maybe this example will help you. Direct speech. Where do you live? Reported speech. She asked me where I lived. Do you see how I made it? The direct question is in the present simple tense. We make a present simple question with do or does. So I need to take that away. Then I need to change the verb to the past simple. Another example. Direct speech. Where is Julie? Reported speech. She asked me where Julie was. The direct question is the present simple of be. We make the question form of the present simple of be by inverting, changing the position of the subject and verb. So we need to change them back before putting the verb into the past simple. Here are some examples. Direct question. Where is the post office, please? Reported question. She asked me where the post office was. What are you doing? Reported question. She asked me what I was doing. Who was that fantastic man? She asked me who that fantastic man had been. So much for the VH questions. But if you need to report a yes or no question, we don't have any question words to help us. Instead, we use if. The right speech. Do you like chocolate? Reported speech. She asked me if I liked chocolate. No problem. Here are a few more examples. Do you love me? He asked me if I loved him. Have you ever been to Mexico? She asked me if I had ever been to Mexico. Are you living here? She asked me if I was living there. Time expressions with reported speech. Sometimes when we change the right speech into reported speech, we have to change time expressions too. We don't always have to do this, however. It depends on when we heard the right speech and when we say the reported speech. For example, it's Monday. Julie says, I'm leaving today. If I tell someone on Monday, I say Julie said she was leaving today. If I told someone on Tuesday, I say Julie said she was leaving yesterday. If I tell someone on Wednesday, I say Julie said she was leaving on Monday. If I told someone a month later, I say Julie said she was leaving that day. So there's no easy comparison. You really have to think about when the right speech was said. Here's a table of some possible comparisons. Now into then at that time, today into yesterday, that day, Tuesday, the 27th of June, yesterday into the day before yesterday, the day before, Wednesday, the 5th of December, last night into the night before, Thursday night, last week into the week before the previous week, tomorrow into today, the next day, the following day, Friday. Now, let's look at the examples and exercises in the test. Example 1. Mabel said, "And has the cartman arrived yet?" The answer is, Mabel asked her aunt if the cartman had arrived yet. Example 2. My father said, "Is your teacher good?" The answer is, my father asked me if my teacher was good. Example 3. Mabel said, "And what has the cartman brought?" The answer is, Mabel asked her aunt what the cartman had brought. Example 4. My father said, "What are you doing?" The answer is, my father asked me what I was doing. Here, you must remember to change the tense, the order, and the person if necessary.
Now, I hope you could understand the lesson well. May I conclude my talk here. Thank you. Bye.